So now that we've talked about what a cost seg report is and how it functions and how it helps you, we're going to kind of actually pull up here a sample cost seg report so we can kind of go through. So if you do get this report from your cost segregation specialist, you kind of want to know, well, what is this form and how does it function? And what are the categories? So I'm so excited to kind of unpack this so people can kind of learn what they're going to actually receive.
Awesome. Yeah. Here, I'll go ahead and share my screen right here and give you a little bit more about, this is exactly what it looks like when you get a report from us. And yeah, most people don't even know how to look at this. They just say, oh, great, I'll send it to my CPA. and that's good too. You should be able to do that.
Yep.
And then, so from there, pulling open one other thing that will be interesting for me to show you at the very end. But so yeah, ultimately, this is the cost seg prepared for Jane Doe on 2020 Test Street in Tampa. And, we got the summary results, and ultimately, this was a smaller property. And this is one of our kind of rapid report. We did this for $900. We found $50,000 of depreciation. They got a 18-to-1 payback ratio. This is a good deal. So this is a $330,000 acquisition cost. Allocation of land was $61,000. So the unadjusted basis of what we're depreciating is $268,000. And this is an older one. This was back in the old days when you only had 60% bonus.
Well, so those terrible days back then.
And we show you right then, like here, if they had bought this property and put it into service and just not depreciated it at all, they would have had, $6,600 of depreciation. But even with the 60% bonus, we got them to $50,000 here. And so ultimately, like, this is what we're doing, and it's not a secret. We're going, especially like I told you, a 1950 Tampa, Florida, $330,000 house, whatever that looks like. I don't even know if that exists anymore. But, we're going, hey, what are all the components of a house? I mean, if you're looking at the small residential houses, we have, 300 some odd line items, and we use a couple of hundred of them every, or we have 92 in this report, and it's just, here are the improvements. What's the cost new? What's the replacement cost? What's the basis? It's allocated based on the, we do this kind of ground up. We try to add up all the components and see what it would be to build new and see what they're worth now that it's 40 years old. And then we try to take that kind of bottom up engineering amount and then compare it to the land versus improvement amount. And if those are within a realm, then we just kind of pro rata our way to it. If they're way, way off, then we start to do more research to kind of double check our math. But you always wind up in weird situations, like condos can be strange, where a lot of times there's just no land value assigned to condos because it's this kind of like joint tenant and common kind of thing where all the condos own all of the land. And so the county would just say the land value is zero. So someone will buy a 2,300 square foot, $1.6 million condo in Boca, and you're going, well, I guess the sink is $600. There's no other way to say this. So, there are ultimately, as you're looking at properties with Taylor, it's worth, as you're getting down to the final stages, actually getting a proposal on the unit, because you may have two units that kind of look the same, but have wildly different tax incomes. And if you're going to flip a coin, that may help you decide, No,
certainly. You can $500,000 properties in different locations will carry much different depreciation. And so you still bought the same property, you spent the same money out of your own pocket, but how tax efficient was it?
That's right. And so, we're into this one, and this was a $270,000 deal. And we basically found 200 of 39 year and 70 divided by 270. This one is 26%, short life property, 74% long life. So It's not a fantastic one, but it's all right. This is a single. This is a double, and so it's important to say that like the IRS has released this thing called the Audit Technique Guide, which is the IRS has to basically publicly issue this manual of how their auditors go about auditing depreciation. And so we built our study in reverse engineering the Audit Technique Guide and basically saying, they come out and say, here are the 13 elements of a quality cost segregation study. And so we include reports, and we include, or we include photographs, and we include how we, visited the site and how we reviewed the site and our methodology and purpose and procedures. Like, this is all boilerplate. So ideally, if you were selected for an audit, you could frankly hand somebody this study, and we should know more about cost segregation than the auditor who's auditing you. And here's a lot of kind of justifications of support of different kind of aggressive cost segregation techniques, pointing back to the RAVE ruling and why we justify our position on why we take certain positions. And so,
that's a really thorough,
terms and
in-depth
conditions.
report. Yeah.
The end of it. And then, so there's one other thing that I'm going to show you, which is, this will get all the accountants really excited, hot and bothered, is this is what we send to accountants. All right, we send you this report as well that you should be able to flip to your accountant, and your accountant should be able to like upload this into their tax software, and it should make their life easier and more fun. So our goal is to, the accountant is, we have several clients. Our engineers who work for us in our business are one of our clients. We want to make their job easy. We want to make their job awesome. The client is our client. Obviously, they pay us money. The accountant is also our client. We want to make their job incredibly easy. We want to make them the hero of the story. We want to share this knowledge with them and allow them to go send us more clients and propagate bonus depreciation across America.
Oh, that's so amazing. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Again, if you would like to get a cost segregation done or find out more, head on over to ReCostSeg.com.